Hello aspirants, my name is Ankush Singla. I am from Faridkot, Punjab and recently have qualified UPSC CAPF 2018 examination and have acquired All India rank 193 and have got border security force which I am going to join next month. Right? Talking about myself, my education is I am a mechanical engineer and presently working as in a State Bank of India as probationary officer, and my passion is defense forces which I am going to fulfill finally after a long wait of 4 years next month, right? So firstly I would like to tell you that in the phase of preparing for this examination, I was also applying for the other examinations. I have also accomplished some of my achievements like RRB, PO, clerical, CDS, AFCAT, CPSS, which is the only flying exam in defense forces, and you can only appear once in your lifetime. If you do not qualify it, you cannot become a pilot, and I have qualified that examination too. I have qualified CPO, CHSL, CGL, right? So this is not like I have qualified these examinations on my very first attempt. This is in this phase preparing for the CP, CAPF, UPSC. I have qualified these examinations, right? So, as you all know, the UPSC syllabus is very vast and there is no mentor available. And same case was with me. Few years back when I was graduated from Lovely Profession University in 2015, I was blank how to go about it, because in my family there is no person who can guide me how to go about it, because there is no defense background available with me. No friends in the UPSC who are preparing for the UPSC, so I was on my own, and I have learned all these things from my mistakes in the last 4 years. And you won't believe that when you get success after 4 years, you will really enjoy it, and you will start thinking that what I have done in last 4 years. And every time you were put down by the result, and in the last time you get success, then you will remember that what that put down has taught me, right? So that's a very good feeling and you will learn about it. Now cutting short, I will straightly jump into the Booklist and strategy and physical examination and interview. I will try to cover all your doubts as much as possible. Apart from that, if you have any other doubts, you can mention them in the comment box. And also, I will be sharing my strategy and book list in the PPT or a PDF form also, so that you can follow that book list and you can implement it as according to your convenience, right? So I will just say one thing before I start my strategy or share my strategy, that do not blindly follow it, because there is nothing like ideal strategy, right? I have a perspective that nobody is perfect. So if I'm meeting some person or if I'm living with some persons, I will feel that person has this quality, right? I will try to inculcate that quality and become a better version of myself. And same thing you have to apply in your strategy also, because you have your mind, your efforts. I am just presenting my strategy which might help you, or a component of it might help you. So you have to find out that component which will help you in your preparation, and you will implement it and may come out with flying colors. I hope all of you become a CAPF gazetted officers, and I would like to see you in my force, border security force, right? So wishing you all the best for your future examination. Now, telling about myself, I have given this examination in 2015. On that time, I was just following one book, CDS Pathfinder, that is by Arihant. So I have scored 56 marks in that examination, because I do not know that how to qualify this examination, how to prepare for this examination. So I was like, this is the only book which will help me to qualify this examination. So I've started it. But the results have told me that you have just scored 56 marks, bro. You have to work hard. So I've changed my strategy, followed something else, and in 16, I've given this examination, and I have scored 110 marks, right? And the cutoff was 111.5 5.6 or 5.7, I don't remember the exact number, but it was 111 point something, right? So you will see that 1 point some mark. So there is a feeling that you can't even explain, because you are about to cross the bar, but somehow you are not able to do that. So that make you feel bad. Anyhow, I was I have no other option. I have to go about it, because I know that it is better to die by trying rather than just giving up always, right? So I just believe in this thing, that try always try. You will never get a success if you give up, or if you start thinking that it is not possible. At least give a try, then only you can decide whether it is possible or not, right? Now, coming about the 2017 attempt, right? I've changed my strategy. I was working very hard, continuously studying, revising everything, and I've appeared for the examination, and I was very hopeful that I will qualify this exam. And I've scored 123 marks, exactly 123, and the cutoff was 123.42. So now this 0.42 took me off, right? So again, I felt really bad, because you can't even imagine that you are just out by 0.42 marks, right? And from my family side, I was getting pressure, because I was not joining any other job, even other corporate job, private job. I was not going to join that, because I've told them that I want to join Defence Forces as an officer, right? So you must have that junoon, that you have to decide what you want to become, right? My parents forced me a lot. I've listened a lot of things from the relatives, but I was strict to my point, that I want to become an officer in Defence Forces, right? But somehow I have qualified some examinations, which I've told you earlier, and which helped me to shut them out and keep on working on my work, which I am made for, right? In 2018, I was like, I have to make it out, because this is my last attempt, and after that I won't be able to achieve my dream to join Defence Forces. So this was my last try, and I've appeared for the examination, and this time I found that UPSC has just changed the pattern of the examination, because this time the exam was really tough. If you compare the examination, if you analyze the examination in the last 7 years, from 11 to 17, the exam was on the same pattern. The level of difficulty was same, but in 2018, they've really increased the level of examination. And I found that this exam was somehow about 70% is similar to the IS examination, because questions were indirect. Reasoning and mathematics was very different, because in the last year it is very simple to solve these questions and score around 40 to 45 marks from these questions. But this time it was like, I want to be able to qualify, and I've made blunders mistakes, which I will tell you in the later part of my strategy, right? So this is it, that finally I was sitting in the State Bank of India Institute. I have joined that institute when my result came. It was 11th of January, and I've seen that my name is in the list, but I was not sure whether it is my name or someone else, because there might be other person with same name. So I've just rectified that, or cross-verified that from my family members, and then I got to know that I had qualified this examination, and that was the best part of my life, I would say, because you won't believe that after 4 years, continuous 4 years, I have made for this examination, on which I have no hope. I was very hopeless for this examination that I will qualify, because I have made blunders mistakes, right? So now I will won't waste much of your time. So we will directly jump on your part, right? I'm saying this from long time, that I will directly jump on to your part. But I have tried that I will share my experience, so that at least some of you can boost up from my failures, because I was like you people, that when failure comes, I won't be able to make it again. But I have a gut feeling that I have to keep on trying, and hope was there. God was with me. That is it. So now, books and strategy, right? For the people who are new to CAPF examination, let me tell you that it is in the three phases. Firstly, there is an objective and a subjective examination, which is of 2 hours and 3 hours respectively. And then there is a physical examination. And then there is a third part, that is interview. And after that, there is a merit list. Calculating all your marks in written and interview, and you will get stuck in the merit list based on your number 4, right? So for the CAPF objective examination, there are 125 questions. If you analyze this examination, you will find out that there are 20 to 25 questions from the polity, 15 to 20 questions from the history, 15 to 20 questions for the geography, 15 to 20 questions from the current affairs, and simultaneously 10 to 15 questions from the science portion, and also 10 to 12 questions from the economy, right? So I will firstly jump on to the polity section because it is the most scoring part of your examination. You just have to revise your book, read your book carefully, and then only you can. Well, I think I have scored all the marks for the polity. If there are 20 questions, I am very much sure that I have done 19 questions right? There might be one question which I am not able to attempt. That is possible with any person, right? But you just can imagine that 19 questions are not a small number, right? So for the polity part, I was just following Lakshmikant. In 2016, I have just a PDF of the Lakshmikant, so I have just read that once only, right? In 17, I've ordered for the book of the Lakshmikant latest edition, and I've read that book 4 times. So in 2018 attempt, I've read that book 18 times. Yes, 18 times I've read that book. Every time I read this book, I find that this is something new I'm reading this, right? For reading a Lakshmikant or studying the Lakshmikant, there is a particular way. In my previous attempts, I have made a mistake that I've started reading Lakshmikant from the very first chapter, but this is not the proper way of reading Lakshmikant, because there is some synchronization in our polity. For example, president have a very similar job to the governor, or we can say governor have a similar job to the president. Same, chief minister is having a similar job to the prime minister, and our legislative assembly of the states and the legislative assembly of our country, that is Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, are working mostly similar on the same pattern, right? So there is a particular strategy to read out this book, and I will give you this strategy that how you should follow this Lakshmikant and how to revise it. And for the practice questions, I've used the Unacademy because there was I've spent around 2,000 or 3,000 rupees of our parents for preparing this examination. Apart from that, I was just following my computer, my laptop, or which other sources are available, because I do not want that though I'm unemployed, I do not want to put them financial pressure on them. So I was using Unacademy, and some of the educators have made mock questions for the polity section. I do not remember the educator's name, but you can find out in the Unacademy section that there are various questionnaires, MCQs available on the polity section, and there are also MCQs available on the back of the Lakshmikant book. So you can follow those questions also, right? This will help you in that portion. Now the next part is the geography section. For the geography section, I have followed the NCERTs for 6 to 12. When you will read the NCERTs, they are gradually moving up, right? In 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the level of difficulty is increasing. And when you will read the NCERT of class 6, and then you will read the NCERT of class 7, you will find that the class 7th version is the upgraded version of the class 6, right? So by this way, you will try to grasp all the concepts of the NCERT. And believe me, 11th and 12th NCERTs are very important for the geography section, right? Apart from that, I have also followed Rajnantil ma'am series available on geography, which they have uploaded on the Mrunal Patel website. Mrunal sir is a very great teacher or educator, right? His website is mrunal.org. You can find a free series of geography available on his website, and I will mention that thing also in my PPT so that you can go about it, right? Now coming to the history portion. In CAPF, the UPSC mostly focus on the history of modern India, right? When the Britishers invaded India, right? So you have to just read that portion only. You do not have to read ancient history, medieval history, or the international history. You just have to read modern history. So the syllabus is very confined, but it is really very vast, because in UPSC there is nothing like confined thing. Is always a vast thing. So for the history, I followed the Spectrum book, right? And apart from that, again, Mrunal sir website is on Mrunal sir website. There is a series available on modern India, right? Which is given by Pratik Nayak sir. Believe me, that series is really, really helpful, which will help you to tackle every question in the CAPF, which will be asked by the UPSC. But for that, you have to revise number of times, because one time study or two times study is not possible, because history is very factual. You cannot change the history because it has already happened, right? So you have to follow. You can follow Pratik Nayak sir web series. Sorry, I'm talking about web series because nowadays I'm just following web series because nothing to do. So you can follow the Pratik Nayak sir series available on mrunal.org, right? And now coming on we have covered polity section, geography section, history section. Now coming to the science part. For the science part, I'm a science student, so my physics and chemistry is good, right? But biology is very weak, so I have to give a lot of time for the biology. I have read NCERTs of class 6 to 10, right? Every chapter of them, physics section, chemistry section, and biology section. My strategy was that if I've chosen physics, right, I will read all the chapter of physics of class 6. Then I will move on to the class 7 of physics chapter, then 8, and then 9, and then 10, and selected chapters of 11 and 12, right? This is how I go about it, because I feel that if you will read whole of the NCERT of class 6, right, physics, chemistry, and biology, including all, right, so you will feel that you must be in a dilemma, or you will be a confused person, right? Because you will be like, abhi to maine ye padha tha, abhi maine chemistry mein padha, so you won't be able to grasp the proper concept, and you have to really revise it. NCERT 5 to 6 times, because I'm a just average person. I'm not a knowledgeable person. For me, it was a very tedious task. I have to repeat it again and again and again. Then only I have grasped every concept which was available in NCERTs of class 6 to 10. Right. Apart from that, I don't think so. There is any other requirement for the science. Right. Now coming to the current affairs section. For the current affair, I was just following the Hindu. The Hindu will help you for the paper 1 and the paper 2 also, right? Because before that, I do remember that in 2016 I have started reading the Hindu, and before that I was a nil person in English. I was not able to utter a single word of the English. But the Hindu, I think it has changed my life. Now the tutti frutti English which I am speaking in front of you right now, because of the Hindu, right? So, firstly in 2016 when I started as a newspaper, right, I have spent around 5 to 6 hours daily, because I was like, what I'm reading this year, I'm not getting anything. I'm spending 5 to 6 hours just to get nothing. It is very less cost effective, right? So, but in some months, I will say in 3 to 4 months, I got to know that this question is important. I started to looking at the newspaper with the perspective of UPSC. How UPSC will, I am the person of the UPSC who has to select a question or to make the question, how will I go about it, right? From that portion, I started segregating that this news is very important, this news is of average importance, or this news is of no importance, right? So I've started segregating it, reading it, and it took almost 1 or 2 hours to complete the newspaper. And remember it, editorial is very important, because it provides you a vocabulary portion, it provides you how to present your opinion, what is the opinion of other person, what is your opinion, do you really like it or not, and then you can present your point of view by writing your views on the paper, right, which will help you in the paper too. And do read economy section, right? And in the current affairs, there is a portion of security, national security questions. For that, I have followed Vision IAS monthly magazine, which were available on its website, and in those magazines also, there is a selected chapter of security, right? There are 4 to 5 pages per month, and you can easily download those magazines available on the website and read it. And before the examination, I think this is the very last part I've done that in my examination, that I've downloaded all the magazines from June 2017 to July 2018, right? Only the selected chapter of security. And I've taken a printout of them and just revised them 3 or 4 times, and I've got to know every defense news which has happened in that last 1 year, right? From June 2017 to July 2018, right? This is how I go about the current affairs section. Now coming to the economy part. Economy part, Mrunal sir is a genius. There is no person who can teach you economy in a very simpler way. In 2015, 16 and 17, he has given his best, I will say very best, because he's an excellent teacher, and that those series are available on the YouTube free of cost. By watching those videos, I don't think so you won't be able to grasp any concept of economy. That is because that is so simple, very simple. Just revising 1 or 2 times, you will be able to get every portion of the economy. And I think when you will start reading the Hindu after watching those videos, I think the economic section is very easy for you. You will be able to tell that in this news this thing will be happening, and this because of this reason this economic downturn has happened, right? These are so much beneficial. Nowadays he is available on the Unacademy, right? You can follow that Unacademy channel of Mrunal sir, and I am assuring you that you won't be wasting your money. That money is very, very effective, which will really help you for the UPSC, because the syllabus is very vast, as you know that. And he will tell you some tips and tricks which will help you to answer the questions in the examination, right? Now we have covered all the part except math and reasoning, right? So we were talking about the mathematics and the reasoning portion, right? So let me tell you about myself that I am very good in mathematics till my class 10. So my concepts were very clear. So I didn't face any problem up to 2017 examination, right? Because the maths is very easy, reasoning very easy. I've qualified PO, clerical are the PO. So I know that I will be, you can see that I'm very comfortable in math and reasoning section. But in 2018, UPSC has changed its pattern, right? So they have increased the level of the difficulty of the questions. So questions were tough, typical, but there is no book list available that you can read them and you can solve all the questions in the examination, right? It is just like that you have to follow some basic concepts of the mathematics and the reasoning. If you can follow that, then you can easily qualify the maths and reasoning section. And I think I don't remember the exact number of questions available on which were in the CAPF 2018 examination, but I am very much sure that I must have done 80 or 85% correct questions, because that part was not typical for me. So I've done that 85%. I do remember that, right? So, but still that 15% is very typical question, because it is a very time-consuming question in 2018. If you will solve yourself a 2018 examination in the time bar of 2 hours, you will feel that the questions are difficult, right? So I will provide you some PDFs which are available with me, and you can go about them and read them, revise them, solve some questions which might help you in your maths and the reasoning section. So we are done with the paper 1, right? We have done 125 questions which carries 250 marks, right? Now there is a paper 2. But now what is the condition of paper 2? if you qualify for the paper 1, then only your paper 2 will be evaluated by the invigilator. And this time the cutoff was 95 and I've got 104 marks, right, in the paper 1. So I was just crossed the bar, which I was very unsure. अगर एग्जाम टफ नहीं होता तो आई डोंट थिंक सो कट ऑफ वाज अराउंड 95 बिकॉज पहली बार हुआ है CAPF की हिस्ट्री में दैट द कट ऑफ वाज लेस देन 100, राइट. So you can yourself imagine how tough was the examination for people like us, right? So now coming to the paper 2. Paper 2 is like they want to check your presentation skills, your opinion, your English speaking or English writing skills, or how much good you are in the language, right? So I will say it is not checking about your knowledge or checking about how good is your English, right? It is all about how you present your views, right? If you have some particular topic, for example, we are talking about the GDP, right? So you have this much of information, right? But in the question paper, they will ask you to write it in the 800 words, 1000 words, or whatever the requirement of the examination. So you have to confine your writing portion from this much to just this much, right? And now this is your skill, how you do that. Because we all have that much knowledge that we can write anything for that question, right? But what is the basic thing which the invigilator want to read in that particular question, or what is your opinion and how you will use your skills to present your answer, and which will make happy to the invigilator, right? So in the paper 2 you will see there are some essays, report writing, pressy writing, and I think so there's a grammar portion also, comprehension, and then there's a vocabulary part, sentence part, active, passive. So for the English portion you can use SSC CGL books available. I think I have used one book for the grammar section. So for the English portion, grammar portion, I have used English book SP Bakshi. You can follow that books for the English grammar. But I would frankly say that I was just following the Hindu, because the Hindu, I'm reading the Hindu from last 4 years. So you can imagine that although I don't remember the rules, what are the rules for the English grammar, but somehow I'm able to use not perfect, but tutti-frutti grammar for the examination, and I have just followed it. I was reading the Hindu from the last 4 years, and what my strategy was, suppose there is an article available on the editorial page, right? I used to read that article in the morning, right? On the evening of that day, what I used to do that, firstly I try to remember which topics or which articles I have read, right? This will check my remembering ability, how much do I remember. Now if I remember that particular topic, I will write down the title for that topic according to me, right? I will write down the title of the topic, and then I will write a summary about the topic in my views, right? In the Hindu I have read this much, and now I have to write this much, right? So this is how I go about paper 2, because you will start evaluating yourself, how much close you are for that to score good marks in the paper 2, right? So this is just your skills. You have to work on yourself, and for that for the practice sections what I have done is I have used the last 7 years examination question papers, and also the present topics which were in very much in news available on that particular time. I used to write down a title and write about it, right? Sometimes I have evaluated them for my friends, right? And sometimes myself, because when you evaluate that exam from your perspective, you might not find it very workable, that you might find that it is very good and you can score very good marks, but the third party view is very different, right? So this might help you. If you don't have any friend, don't worry, just try to keep on working on yourself, start evaluating yourself, and I think within 1 month or 2 months you will be able to find out that you have done this mistake in this thing, and this mistake in this thing, and you should avoid this thing, this particular portion, or you have write down much better examples, right, on that particular essay or the report writing. So this is how I went about paper 2, right? So let me tell you what mistake I have made in my previous attempt. In 2016, I have seen that one book is available in 2016 that on Amazon about the essays report writing and the essay writing of CAPF paper 2, right? I have ordered that book so that I can get some ideas. But rather than getting ideas, I was like, nothing is available in this book. I can't go through with this strategy for the paper 2. So I was trying to follow a short route which is not beneficial for me, and finally I've decided I have to take a long route, that is just preparation, reading newspaper, make my own views, get some knowledge, present my knowledge, get some writing skills, and this is how you can go about paper 2. I want to take notice of one thing, that I am not good at vocabulary, right? And I know that there were 5 questions available on it, in which you have to write down the meaning of that particular word and write a sentence on it. And I still remember that I have not attempted it at all, because that was that typical for me. So I attempted of 180 marks for paper 2 out of 200, and I have scored 82 marks. And believe me, if you score 100 marks out of 200, so you find yourself lucky. Because in UPSC, in written examination, you cannot score. I have not seen anyone scoring more than 100, right? So 82 is a very decent mark, and the combined cutoff was 166, right? So in paper 1, I have scored 104, and paper 2 I have scored 82. So my combined score was 186, and the cutoff was 166 for the general category, right? So I was 20 marks high from the cutoff, right? Now after completion all of these papers, right? Now the big chunk of your knowledge is being tested. Now coming to the physical test, because you are going to join defense forces. So in defense forces, the physical fitness is very important. A person cannot be a lame in defense forces, right? So you want to become an asset for your company or your battalion. You do not want to be a liability for them, right? So they are going to choose the best person who are very physically fit, who are medically fit, right? They are in physical portion. There are 4 activities: 100 meter, 800 meter, long jump, and shot put, right? First of all, they will call you, right? My physical examination was on 7th of March. I do remember 7th of March at ITBP Bhanu, nearby Chandigarh, right? So they have called around 30 people, and I was one of them. Firstly, they will go about your documentation. They will ask for your degree. If you're working somewhere, they will ask for the NOC, everything. They are very strict on that part. You cannot just go on like that. It is मैं तो ये चीज़ छोड़ देता हूँ, कोई बात नहीं, थोड़ा बहुत है बाद में देख लेंगे, but नहीं. They are very strict over there. A DIG who is leading the physical examination would be there. Commandant who is going to check your documents will be there. So trust me, that is a very strict part, and you should not feel light, right? So complete your documents, cross-verify it, and then only go to the physical examination, right? And those who are working, please take your NOC with yourself. Doesn't matter how typical it is for you to get that NOC, but take that NOC with you. Otherwise, they will give you some another date, or they will just throw you out from the physical examination, and you will feel very frustrated that you have qualified the examination, still you are not able to appear for the physical examination, right? After this documentation process, they will call you for your checking of your height and chest, right? They are very strict about it. I do remember in my case, when the person is commandant who was invigilating all these activities, and they asked me to take a deep breath and expand my chest, which I was not doing it, right? And then that particular time, commandant of the CISF told me, "तू क्या कर रहा है? तुझे पता तेरी कितनी chest है और तू फुला नहीं रहा उसे." And after that boost up, he battery on my back 3 to 4 times, and after that I have expanded my chest, and it has crossed around 2 to 3 centimeters from the bar, right? So they are very strict about it. For the height, they are very strict. They will not allow you, if the cutoff is 165 centimeter, so you should be 165 centimeter. You should not be 164.90. They will throw you out right away, right? So don't be light about it. If your height is 165 centimeter, then only apply for it. Otherwise, don't waste your time or believe in luck, because luck do not work over there. It works in the examination. This is a physical examination. It will not work over here, right? They are very strict about it, and then they will start some activities which are set for the physical examination: 800 meter, 100 meter, long jump, and a shot put. I do remember 29 people reported. 2 of them has sent back because of lack of documents. They have given another date, and 27 of us were then further invigilated by the invigilators for the physical activities. Firstly, we go about 800 meters, then 100 meter, then shot put, then long jump, and then 100 meter. Only one person disqualified from the long jump, right? They will not give you more than given attempts. They are very strict about it, right? So you have to prepare for it. I was involved in physical activities before my physical. So it was not a tough task for me, but yes, I have tried. I have calculated my timing, that whether I'm qualifying for the exact according to the exact timings given by the examination. That is 3 minutes 45 seconds for the 800 meters and 16 seconds for the 100 meter. So I've tried that, calculated that, and I've qualified it, right? But shot put is very easy. But for some people, shot put is a very tedious task. But those who are physically involved or those who are physically active, I don't think so they will feel any problem for the shot put. But in your mind, you might be having a doubt that it might be a risky, that you should try for it. And even I have tried for it. I have purchased a new shot put for just a one throw. And you won't believe, in my very first throw, I got to know that I can throw it for the required bar, right? And then I got to know that, and then I got the confidence. For the long jump, I was very conscious, right? That whether I will be able to qualify it or not, because it was around 12 feet, I think so. That yes, the fact 12 feet, you have to jump 12 feet, right? I have in my area there is no ground available where I can practice for the long jump. So I contacted my previous schools, and one of my PT teacher helped me to qualify for it. And during my preparation, that firstly do warm up your body, right? If you will start practicing long jump without warming your body, you will get an injury, and this can be a very serious injury. Take my point, right? This is a very serious point. Do warm up before any physical activity. Do stretch out, because this is the only portion which will help you for your activity. And in my preparation, my leg got twisted during the preparation of the long jump. So before going to the physical examination, I've given a one try, and then I directly jumped out in the long jump. And in my very first attempt, I've qualified for the long jump in the physical examination, right? After you clear your physical, the DIG will give you your letters for the medicals, and you will proceed for the medical examination. My examination was in the Composite Hospital, Chandigarh, right, near the ITA job. So I go over there, right? They will give you some forms, you have to fulfill it, right? And then they will do some of your tests, x-rays, blood tests, urine tests, and then they will do your other physical examinations, chest, BP, and they are very serious over there. Some people were stammering. Eye test is very important, and especially if your power is I think more than 4, just go to a doctor and take a note list from him that you are fit for the medical examination, that your power is this much. And because they ask for your power, if you have a power of even 0.25, they will ask you to present some document, right? And if your people are colorblind, some of you are colorblind, they are very, very strict about color blindness. They will check your color blindness by 3 to 4 ways, and if you are not able to qualify for that, then they will directly throw you out. They are very strict about color blindness. And for the BPs, right, I have seen many people whose blood pressure was very high, and they were called 3 to 4 times in that day to check their BP, because they also do not want to reject you, right? Because they also know that you have worked really hard for that examination, and if you will be thrown out like this, you will feel really bad. So they will give you 3 to 4 chances in the medical to present yourself so that you qualify for the blood pressure test or the whichever test in which you shot for, right? Even myself got that temporary rejection for some type that I have extra skin on my thigh. So I have to go through the surgery, and they will give you 15 days time for the appeal, and I've appealed for that. And a doctor will recommend, a government doctor or a private doctor will recommend with his registration number that you are fit for the defense forces, and you can appeal for it, apply for it, and within the period of 45 days you will be called again for your re-medical. And I was called at the Jaroda Kala CRPF Delhi, and I was waiting since morning, and my medical was done at around 6 p.m. and we got our letters, qualified letters for the medical around 7, right? So many of the people who have tried a lot, right? I've seen people waiting for the BP test from last 4 days, right? They are very strict about BP. Those people who are overweight by 100 grams, 500 grams, are working really hard over there to get themselves fit for the defense forces requirement, the weight requirement, right? So they are very strict about it. So don't be very much conscious about it. Just be yourself in a physically fit category, right? A physical fit category who is physically active person who is just able to do the required activities which are required by the defense forces for the CAPF examination. After qualifying all these things, now the best part of your examination is interview. I would say my best part is because interview is my forte, right? I don't feel nervous for the interview. Let me share you about my experience. I have qualified a very good interviews in SSBs 2, in SBI 2, which is a very tough interview in our banking system, and I've scored full marks in the interview of the SBI, and even in UPSC interview I've scored 105 marks, which is out of 150, which is a very decent mark. And my interview was taken by Vice Chairman of the UPSC, Shri Pradeep Kumar Joshi ji. If you read about his accomplishment, you will just what this much. I was like, I don't know that on that part that Pradeep Kumar Joshi is that much qualified or dignified person, right? So my interview session was we were called at 9 a.m. So I was at the UPSC center at around 8:30 a.m. I was wearing a suit, right? So because I thought that I will look much smarter in suit, so I have selected for the suit. It is your choice what you want to wear, in which you look smart. And do remember that, do not go with the beard, right? You should look like an officer. You should look like a gentleman. They're not hiring some Rediwala or something like that. You are going over there and you're with full beard and mustaches. Mustaches is okay, but that should be a decent one, right? They should not look a casual one. You should look decent and gentleman, and the most important, an officer, right? Because when you feel that you are looking really good, a confidence will come from within yourself, right? So for the interview part, firstly you have to cross-verify your documents, your 10th mark sheet, your 12th mark sheet, your graduation degree. If you have qualified in, suppose I have qualified in 2015, so they must want an original degree, right? They do not go for the provisional degree. So you must having an original degree. If you are working somewhere, you must be having an NOC, a UPSC call letter, your documents, Aadhaar card, PAN card, voter card, your photos, right? Everything. They will call you in and they will segregate you in 5 or 6 groups, right? My interview was scheduled on 16th of July after re-medicals. So and they will segregate you into 5 or 6 groups. Every group will include 5 or 6 persons. That is a UPSC hall. You will not be allowed to wear any watch or will be carrying any pen over there. They will give you everything over there. You will just put up your bags in front of that hall with a security guard, and you will go into that hall. They will segregate you into 5 or 6 groups. With them, they will be having your documents in which you have given your physical examination, your written examinations, right? And the board you have been allotted, your documents required, right? Before that, because they will ask you for a detailed application form also, which you will submit after clearance of your written examination. So my DF was very simple. The DAF is a detailed application form. It is like a resume, right? Interview questionnaire, which is available in the SSBs, that is the Service Selection Board. So it is very much similar like that. They will just ask you for your basic information, your name, your height, your birthplace, your present place, you're working somewhere, your hobbies, your preferences, right? They will ask you these things over there, right? And I will tell you that when you will be sitting over in the UPSC hall, you will feel really proud, because a few lucky people get this opportunity that they are sitting in the UPSC hall, because not every person is got that opportunity. And I was feeling very proud in myself that I have qualified a great examination, and I am here to present myself in front of the teachers, I would say, because they are teachers, because you will learn something from everywhere. So I will call them teachers, right? So this is it, and you will feel really proud. And for the DAF, I will just advise, just be yourself. Don't be fake over there, right? If you will write down some fake things that you have not done, right, in your hobbies or your accomplishments, and you will end up, if they will ask you, right, it might be possible they will ask you something from that particular topic, and you don't be able to answer those questions, and on that particular time you might feel nervous too, because you know that you don't know the answer of those questions, and you will start feeling nervous, and with the nervousness you will just end up with your interview with this nervousness, and end up with getting less marks, and you will lose your chance for this particular examination for this year, and you have to try again from the scratch, right? So don't be a fool over there. They have asked you for your journal things only. So just be yourself. My DF was very normal. I was like, कोई मुझसे क्या ही पूछ लेगा यार इस DF में से. But let me tell you, I was working in the SPI. I have worked in the UCO Bank in clerical cadre for 3 months. So I was hoping that मेरे questions यहीं से आने वाले हैं. And if you are asking about my preferences, my first preference was ITPP. Second was BSF. Third was SSB, fourth was CRPF, and fifth was CISF, right? Why ITBP? Because I want my life to be an adventurous one, right? I want to be an Air Force pilot, but I was not able to qualify for that. So anyhow, so my dream was that I want to see whole of the sky, whole of the world from the sitting in the plane, right? But that dream is not possible, right? तो फिर मैंने सोचा यार that in ITBP I will be at the peaks. From there I can see whole of the world, right? I want to do mountaineering. I want to do all the adventurous tasks, right? From everything which are available, trekkings and bungee jumping, every adventurous task which are available in the mountains or any other place which are available, right? And then like expedition of the Mount Everest, right? I was very passionate about the adventurous things. So that is why my second preference was BSF, and third was SSB, and fourth was CRPF, right, which was a very diverse job, and fifth was CISF, right. So my interview started. I was like, everybody will ask you about your name. In my interview panel, there were 4 people, right, and one was Shri Pradeep Kumar Joshi ji, who was the chairman. Apart from them, 2 ladies and 1 male gentleman sitting right to Mr. Pradeep Kumar Joshi ji, right. What was in my case that everybody was coming everybody was coming out of the interview room in 15 to 20 minutes in my group, right? I was like, बस इतना ही यार 15-20 मिनट हो गया. मतलब I was very nervous. The last person before me that his interview was ended in 12 minutes. I was just sitting outside the interview room, and I was counting the time which on the clock which was available on the pillar of that hall, right? So I was looking at the time and I've seen that he just came in 12 minutes. I was like, matlab, it is that tough, or they are just not interested in ourselves, right? So I was in ambiguity. I was not ambiguity, I would say. I was in dilemma. Sorry, I was in dilemma. So फिर भी मैं उस dilemma से अंदर गया. I wished first the lady members and then the male members, and because you're a gentleman over there, and everywhere you know that firstly you will wish the female members, because in our society we respect our women and then men, not first women and then men. We respect them equally, but we all know that हम अपने देश में लड़कियों को कितनी इज्जत देते हैं या लेडीज को कितनी इज्जत देते हैं. तो फर्स्टली मैंने वही चीज़ की, मैंने लेडीज को पहले विश किया, एंड देन टू द चेयरमैन of the board, and then the other person who was sitting over there, right? So my interview started. He asked, Mr. Ankush Singla, you are from Punjab, right? And I have seen your in DAF that you have filled Aadhaar card as your identity proof. I said, yes sir. So tell me something about Aadhaar. What is the privacy issue? Why people are opposing it? For the first time I was like in a shock. For first I think for 1 minute I was just stopped. I was just looking the faces. Aadhaar. So then I started speaking, and the questions continues about my native place, right? What is famous in Punjab? What is the issue of drugs in Punjab, right? And then the Pradeep Kumar Joshi ji went away from the room, right? And the baton was passed on to the lady member. She was very strict. She started asking me the questions about why ITBP, why are you leaving SBI. She was grilling me. When I have told her that, ma'am, I want to tell you a story, why I'm choosing Defence Forces as a career, she told me that I don't have that much time, just tell me a summary, right? So I've told her my story, and she was not convinced. She was again asking me questions, why ITBP, why adventure? You can find adventure in any other thing also. You are working in the SPI, Vigilance Department. Who is leading the Vigilance Department? Who is leading the CBI? Who is the head of CBI? Which act? So a number of questions passed away. Like it was a rapid fire questions. And she was not convincing her. She was a very typical person over in the interview. And I found her that भाई ये तो तुझे गलत मिल गई है and तुझे ये कभी पास नहीं होने देगी. And then she passed on the baton to the other female member, right? And first of all, she was very cute, right? She was very cute. She was smiling and she told me that, Ankush, firstly I will wish you all the best that you qualify this examination and come out with flying colors and serve our country, right? I said, thank you, ma'am. And then she started speaking about some economy. As I'm working in the bank, so she started with some economic questions. Why economy? We are about farmers, reservation issue is good or not, right? In farmers, we are giving them this much and this is not. Suicide rates in farmers in Punjab, and other economic related questions were going on. And I think from my DAF, the only thing which was allowing them to ask questions about my working in the SBI, right? And my knowledge for the current affairs, my opinions, my pressure handling skills, why I'm choosing my career this, why ITBP, because they were very concerned about ITBP, right? Why I'm choosing this, because they want to know about it, that if a person is giving his preference for some particular force, he should know this reason behind it. Because if you are saying anything, right, or if you are writing anything, there must be reason behind it. There must be a logic behind it. So same was over there. So, and that person was very, very good. I really felt good over there. I was happy that I have answered every question of her, and she was very convinced. And she passed on the baton to the other member. And I felt from his questions that he was, I think, from a defense background. He told me, Ankush, that he told me you want to see entire world from the sky or from the peaks, but you can't see whole of the world from one peak. So I said that, sir, you are very right. This is a very logical question. So I said, sir, I will get this opportunity by visiting number of peaks which are available in this earth and see whole of the world from there, right? So he told me that, Ankush, there is one place which is available from which you can see entire world. So I was again which place is it available? I've tried to think over there, but I told him that, sir, I don't know. So he told me that I will give you a hint, right? So he told me that, tell me about Chandrayaan. So I explained him about Chandrayaan, everything. So he told me, now tell me which is that place. So I told him some moon, right? So that is a very adventurous part over me, that he grilled me, he gave me a hint, he explored me and how I dealt with that particular question, right? So my last question was asked, some of the questions then asked by the Shri Pradeep Kumar Joshi ji, and then again by the last male member of the board, that Ankush, I will give you one situation, and I will tell you that situation, aspirants, and I will not give you the answer. You will give the answer in the comment box. What should be the appropriate answer for that question, right? He gave me a question that if you are, suppose you are on a navy ship, right? You are an officer over there, and your commanding officer, right, told you that you should take a left U-turn, right? And you know that if you take a left U-turn, you will collide with another ship and number of people will die. What will you do, right? I will repeat this question again. Suppose you are on a navy ship, and if you take a left U-turn, your ship will collide with another ship and number of people will die. What will you do, right? Your commanding officer is saying to you that take a left U-turn. What will you do? So I will leave this question on you. You have to answer this, right? This was my experience of the interview. Now for you, what is the guidance? What is the strategy for the interview? It is confidence. Learn about yourself. Observe yourself from a third point of view, right? Who you really are. What are the qualities in you? How you can feel confident. What is the best thing you do? What are your positive traits? What is your negative traits? How you convert your negative traits into a positive traits? What's your family opinion about you? तो समटाइम्स क्या होता है कि हमें अपने बारे में नहीं पता लगता. जब कोई दूसरा बोलता है हमारी पॉजिटिव क्वालिटीज के बारे में, तब हमें लगता है दिस इज अवर क्वालिटी, राइट? सो आपको कई बार हमसे दूसरों से पता लगा कि आप में ये क्वालिटीज हैं, ठीक है. अपने हुनर को पहचानिए, अपने हुनर को बाहर लाइए, समझिए खुद को. आपको लगेगा कि आप बहुत परफेक्ट पर्सन हो खुद में, ठीक है. आपको बहुत अच्छे से अपने आप को प्रेजेंट कर सकते हो. आपको अगर प्रैक्टिस करनी है, यू कैन सिट इन फ्रंट ऑफ द मिरर. आप प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हो. मैंने भी प्रैक्टिस की थी. आई वॉज सिटिंग ऑन द चेयर प्रैक्टिसिंग फॉर द इंटरव्यू, सो दैट हाउ डू आई फील, because sitting in the front of the UPSC panel is a very big thing, and you automatically start feeling pressure, because UPSC is the authority which recruits Group A gazetted officers. This is the sole authority in India, right? So if the interview panel is taking your interview, you must be very conscious about it. I have given a number of interviews. I was not conscious about it, but this time I was. I will not lie, I was a little bit, because the UPSC, when you hear of the name of the UPSC, आपके हाथ पैर ठंडे हो जाते हैं भाई, सीधी सी बात है. तो फिर भी होते, तो मैंने थोड़ा बहुत प्रैक्टिस किया था, बट वही है, अपने आप में कॉन्फिडेंस रखना है आपका, और आप इजीली इसको टैकल कर सकते हो. अगर आपको किसी क्वेश्चन का आंसर नहीं आता, दैन डजंट मीन कि आपको कुछ नहीं आता, आपकी नॉलेज वीक है, नथिंग लाइक दैट. आपको नहीं आता मीन्स नहीं आता. आपको परफेक्ट पर्सन नहीं हो, फिर वही बात, आप परफेक्ट पर्सन नहीं हो, आपको हर चीज़ पता नहीं हो सकती. आपको ये चीज़ दिमाग में रखनी है. अगर आपको ये क्वेश्चन आंसर नहीं आया, तो आपने ये नहीं कि आप उसी क्वेश्चन के बारे में सोचते रहो और आप अपना पूरा इंटरव्यू ख़राब कर दो. नहीं करना है. अगर नहीं आता, डायरेक्टली से देम दैट सर मुझे नहीं आता, आई डोंट नो, राइट. माई इंटरव्यू वॉज इन इंग्लिश. आई वॉज वेरी कंफर्टेबल इन इंग्लिश, बट एट सम पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई वॉज मैं बीच में मुझे पर्टिकुलर वर्ड नहीं मिल रहा था कि मैं उससे क्या बोलूँ, तो मैंने हिंदी में बोला, बट मैंने फिर रिवर्ट बैक इंग्लिश में कर दिया. मैटर नहीं करता कि आप इंग्लिश में दे रहे हो या हिंदी में दे रहे हो. मैटर ये करता है कि आप कैसे प्रेजेंट कर रहे हो अपने आप को. दैट इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग. and the mistake I have made while after my finishing of my interview. मेरा इंटरव्यू हो गया, I was done with my interview. They told me that Ankush, thank you Ankush and wishing you all the best for your results. And जब मैं वापस आ रहा था from the gate, so मैंने देखा डोर तो बीच में होना चाहिए था, बट डोर साइड में था. तो मैं बीच में चला गया और मैं डोर को ढूंढ रहा हूँ, डोर कहाँ गया. तो फिर उन्होंने मुझे बताया डोर इस साइड है, तो मैं डोर से फिर बाहर निकल के आया. सो मैंने सोचा दैट अब तो आई एम जस्ट गॉन, मुझे मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे, आई विल नॉट गेट द रिक्वायर्ड मार्क्स, राइट, एंड आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू क्वालिफाई इट. बट यूपीएससी का ट्रेंड है, आपको रिजल्ट बहुत जल्दी देखने को मिल जाते हैं. एंड आफ्टर द फिनिशिंग ऑफ द लास्ट इंटरव्यू विद इन अ वीक दे विल declare the results. And it was 2nd of August 2019, and I still remember when the result came. I've seen my name in that list and I've got 193 rank. I was very happy. I was really happy that yes, I've made it, finally made it. Because जिस चीज़ के लिए आप इतनी मेहनत करते हो, जब कोई चीज़ मिलती है ना, ट्रस्ट में आप उसको बयां भी नहीं कर सकते. I am very emotional right now because this is a very good portion of me that these 4 years taught me how to live a life, right? So I'm wishing you all the best for your examination. I will be sharing my book list in the PPT form. You can read about it. And अगर आपको कुछ लगा कि मैंने बहुत कुछ गलत बोला तो आप वो भी मेंशन कर सकते हो, because I'm open to criticism. और उसी से आई थिंक मुझे कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा. मैंने आई थिंक कुछ गलत बोला भी है वर्ड्स वगैरह, तो उसके लिए आई एम रियली सॉरी फॉर दैट. एंड बिफोर आई गो आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू दैट द रीज़न बिहाइंड टेकिंग एन written examination, then subjective examination, then physical and then interview. They want to try to judge you at every portion of your life, right? आप जो लिखते हो, आप प्रेशर हैंडलिंग स्किल्स क्या है, जब आप ऑब्जेक्टिव पेपर दे रहे होते हो आप बहुत आप टेंस होते हो. और मैं मिस्टेक करता हूँ. फॉर एग्जांपल जब एक क्वेश्चन आया था मेरे एग्जाम में, व्हाट इज़ द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ लेज़र, और बीइंग अ मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन भी दिया है लेज़र पे, बट मैंने वहाँ पे गलत ऑप्शन को टिक किया. दैट इज़ जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ प्रेशर, राइट? तो आपको वो चीज़ नहीं करनी है, बहुत काम एंड कंपोज होकर एग्ज़ाम देना है आपको. और जब आप एग्ज़ाम देते हो, अगर आप क्वालिफाई करते हो तो वो दिखाता है कि आपने बहुत मेहनत की है, आपने नॉलेज एक्वायर की है, आपने बहुत मेहनत की है, हार्ड वर्किंग की है, आपने स्मार्ट वर्क किया है, आपने प्रेशर हैंडलिंग स्किल्स की हैं, टाइम मैनेजमेंट किया है. दीज आर ऑल योर स्किल्स, राइट? In paper 2, they will check your presentation skills, your opinion, your reasonability, your priorities, right? An interview, जो चीज़ें आपने रिटन में लिखी हैं वही चीज़ वो इंटरव्यू में आपने वो भी सुनते हैं, आपको जज करते हैं, आपके DF से जज करते हैं. The sole reason for their judgment is, or sole document for the judgment is your DAF. They don't know about your past, they don't know about your future, they don't know about your present. They just know about your DAF and the thing which you're telling them, right? So they are just judging you at every moment. So just be confident and be yourself, and I hope you will come out with flying colors. Before I go, I would like to speak one line of Dr. Abdul Kalam ji, that dreams are not those which you see while sleeping. Dreams are those which do not let you sleep. So start working on your dreams. If you want to be a successful person, work hard. And I do remember that in my time, I used to study for around 13 to 14 hours because I was an average person and I do not know that how to grasp that particular thing. मेरी स्टडीज़ इतनी अच्छी नहीं हुई थी कि जहाँ पर मैं अपने आप को अच्छे से संभाल सकूँ या समझ सकूँ किसी चीज़ को. इसीलिए मुझे ज़्यादा टाइम लगा, इसीलिए मैंने 13 से 14 घंटे दिए हैं. मैं नहीं बोलता कि आप 13 से 14 घंटे दो, आप जितना भी पढ़ो उसको कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवली पढ़ो, टाइम मैनेजमेंट करो, अच्छे से पढ़ो. अगर आप 4 घंटे भी पढ़ रहे हो ना दिन के अंदर पर अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हो और आपको समझ आ रहा है तो इट इज़ अ वेरी गुड थिंग, राइट? अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट मैंने एक चीज़ फॉलो की थी. राज्यसभा पे एक एपिसोड आता था बिग पिक्चर, राइट? उसमें एक पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक के बारे में एक पर्टिकुलर डिबेट तो नहीं, डिस्कशन होती है. दिस इज़ अ वेरी जेन्युइन डिस्कशन जहाँ पे आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलेगा, डिफरेंट व्यू पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे आपको. तो यू कैन ऑल्सो फॉलो दैट पार्ट ऑल्सो. So from my side, this is it. If you have any doubts, you can mention that in the comment box. And also, foremost, I would like to thank Divya ma'am for this thing, for giving me this an opportunity to share my experience with you people. And if not all of you, but some of you might get inspiration from my life, my experience, right? And wishing you all the best for your examination. Jai Hind, good luck, bye bye.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated for the upcoming videos. Till then, Jai Hind.